as well get started. Welcome to the meeting of the Grandville City Council. I'd like to call the meeting to order and ask Marcy to call the roll, please.
Councilmember Flanagan.
Here.
Gelderlos.
Present.
Merringa.
Present.
Steenstra.
Here.
Sullivan.
Here.
Vanderwall.
Present.
And Mayor Mas.
Here. Well, tonight for the invocation, we have Pastor Brandon Hahn from Ivanrest Church. So for those of you who wish, I invite you to stand for the invocation. We're going to follow that with a pledge of allegiance.
All right, thank you, Mayor. Let's pray. Lord God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, we thank you for the many different gifts that you give us, including our city, which we get to live in here in Grandville. We thank you for the many different businesses that operate here, the churches and house of worship that exist here, and many different people that live here as well. We pray that you'll bless this meeting tonight as our city council goes about its business. May what we do here tonight honor and glorify you. We pray this in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pastor, thanks for being here. Appreciate it. The council, you have before you tonight the agenda for tonight's meeting. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion. Support.
Motion and support. All those in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
In the opposition, please say no. We also have a couple sets of minutes from our regular meeting, February 9. Had a chance to take a look at those. Is there a motion to approve the minutes from the February 9 meeting?
So moved. Support.
Motion and support. Any discussion, additions, corrections, anything anybody wants to point out? If not, all those in favor of approving, please say yes.
Yes.
In the opposition, please say no. Then we have the minutes from our meeting last week, a special joint meeting with the City Council and Downtown Development Authority. Thank you, everybody, for being there and for the discussion. I've had a chance to review that. Is there a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved. Support.
Motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor of approving, please say yes.
Yes.
In the opposition, please say no. Then we're down to the bills, substantially less than it's been for like a few months. Still a substantial amount, almost $500,000, but less than, only has 6 digits. So anything you'd like to tell us about the bills?
Sure.
Before we open it up for questions.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, it's a little more modest of an amount than we had the last few meetings. Nevertheless, some really good work continuing to take place. I'm going to highlight a couple invoices for you like normal. 2 that we've gotten a little more accustomed to these last few meetings, Compass Minerals America and Great Lakes Chloride Inc. Those are 2 invoices that are for more road salt. We've obviously been going through more this year than the last couple of years with the weather we've been having. I think we're all getting excited to hopefully be to spring soon, but the crew's nevertheless going to be ready to continue to maintain the roads the best they can. We have an invoice in the amount of $8,500 to the Grand Valley Metro Council. The Metro Council is the fiduciary who invoiced the EMS Consortium Phase 2 study that was approved back on December 15th, if you'll remember our short discussion about that. So that's what that invoice was for. Integra Realty Resources, an invoice in the amount of just over $6,000. This was an invoice for some of the appraisal associated with the movie theater out there at the mall. As a friendly reminder, that tax tribunal hearing was actually scheduled for last week and it got resolved just days beforehand. Ultimately, the movie theater's ownership decided to withdraw their appeal, so the value will stay at pre-appeal values for now. The 2 other invoices I want to highlight are Next Gen Construction LLC in the amount of $26,100. This is another progress payment associated with the Millrace Park project that is continuing to progress. And finally, a relatively large invoice from Moore & Bruges Inc. in the amount of $82,207. This is a combination of progress that's being made on a variety of different projects. The bulk of this specific invoice pertains to the pre-engineering associated with the upcoming water line replacement projects on Canal and 40th that are gonna take place later this year, as well as some roadwork engineering for the Century Center resurfacing project, which is our Metro Council partially funded project that'll take place later this year. So that stretch of road over there to the east of the mall. So those are the few invoices I have to highlight this evening, but I'm happy to answer questions if there are any others.
Good. Council, any questions for Griffin on any of the bills tonight? If not, is there a motion to approve the bills tonight in the amount of $488,530.83?
So moved. Support.
Motion and support. Any final comments, questions? Marcy, would you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Gelderlos,
Yes.
Merringa,
Yes.
Steenstra,
Yes.
Sullivan,
Yes.
Vanderwaal,
Yes.
Flanagan,
Yes.
and Mayor Mas.
Yes. Before I forget, I just wanted to welcome John Huff from Varnum Law Firm here taking David Calden's place while David is out of town. Trying to avoid the snow in the East Coast, something like that. So, welcome, thanks. It's time for public comment. Anybody here who'd like to address the council, please just come on up to the podium, give us your name, address, and tell us what you think about it tonight. Welcome.
Thank you. My name is Derek Vince Bronson. I live at 4354 Sherway Court Southwest here in Grandville. Good evening, Mayor, council members. I'm here tonight because, like many of you, I was unsettled by the shooting that occurred early Saturday morning at the Grandville pub. We chose to live in Grandville because it's a safe, family-oriented community. Seeing this level of violence at a local establishment is unacceptable. I have 3 specific questions I would like the city to address. Number 1, beyond the immediate police investigation, what is the city's broader plan to ensure that incidents like this do not become a reoccurring issue in our downtown area? Number 2, will the city be conducting a formal review of the Grandville Pub's business license or special use permits to ensure they are meeting the safety and security requirements expected of a venue hosting these types of events? And number 3, what steps can the city take to ensure that venues drawing large crowds from outside our community are required to provide adequate professional security to prevent disputes from escalating into gunfire? Thank you for your time and your commitment to keeping Grandville a safe place for all of us. I look forward to hearing from the city's official stance on this matter.
Thanks for your comments. Griffin, anything you'd like to comment on, or Chief?
Yeah, I think the best way I can handle that right now is just to ensure you, yes, there is an open investigation that's taking place right now. Can't comment on that a lot because of its ongoing nature, but I can also assure you we have a meeting scheduled later this week with the ownership of the Grandville Pub to follow up with some of those questions you brought up. I'd also encourage you, if you don't mind, you're welcome to share your contact information with our police chief, Chief Anglem over here, and if you'd like to schedule some time to sit down and talk more, we'd be happy to do that.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Mike, welcome.
Mike Cobb, 3362 40th. Thank you for everybody for serving, but mostly I'd like to just thank Matt. I can't even imagine the amount of hours I've sat in his office and asked stupid questions and got just straight answers for 20 years. I mean, I'm just gonna miss him so much, but I'm happy for him and just wanted to tell him thanks, and I'll keep praying for you.
Thanks, Mike, appreciate that. Appreciate that. Anybody else like to address the council, please, just come on out to the podium. Last call? Anybody? Okay, go to the next item. We've got a big consent agenda, and some of the, we'll have time afterward to talk about any particular ones. I had a couple comments on a really, really good police report. Very, very, very interesting, and a couple things I wanted to mention about that. But tonight, approval would be in the best interest of the city of the consent agenda. We have a number of reports. Like I mentioned, we have the annual report for the police department. And big news is you were accredited last year by that group, which is a big deal. We also have the investment report from January, as well as the minutes from the library board January meeting, the environmental sustainability committee February meeting, planning commission February meeting, the appointment to the planning commission of Sue Merrill, and that would be for the term expiring just in a few months on July 1. And then also the appointment to the environmental sustainability commission, and that is Ashana Cross, and that would be a term that expires at the end of 2027. We also have an authorization of the summer recreation agreement with Grandville Public Schools, and what I liked about that, one paragraph, really simple, and for years we've been able to just work that out very,
That
very well.
agreement's
So,
been identical
yeah.
for as long back as I can find.
went up a couple $1,000s this year. Next one was something, I don't ever remember saying this before, but it's a resolution to decertify several little tiny pieces of road that exist on maps but don't exist in reality, so we will not be getting
Yeah,
funding
and
for
we were
those.
contacted specifically by MDOT in regard to these stretches of road. My understanding is, they had a staff member that was doing some type of audit and was looking at some of these, stretches and identified a few that, to your point, they exist on MDOT Act 51 maps, but are not, improved road, so that they asked the city to take the formal action of decertifying those stretches of road, so they'll be taken off the Act 51
I would assume
maps.
that's gonna be kind of a nominal amount of money, but,
Yeah,
yeah.
it would be
Yeah.
insignificant.
And then we also have a couple requests to set budget work sessions. The first one, Monday, March 16 at 6 o'clock at City Hall, and then the second, work session, Monday, April 20, 6 o'clock at the Clean Water Plant. 'Cause we like to go out there once in a while and look around.
About once a year.
Yeah, and budget season. So is there a motion to approve the consent agenda in the best interest of the city?
So, support.
Motion and support. Couple things before I open it up for all comments and questions, just a couple things for the police chief that I noticed. Wow, almost 10,000 calls for service. I guess that, I never had really thought about that, but that's a lot of calls for service, so.
Busy year.
Yeah, thank you for keeping us all safe. Also, I like the stories, just kind of the anecdotal things. The one that really just caught my eye was about a child with a head injury, and you did something special at his house or outside his house, and it's, you had met him maybe at one of the events in the park.
Yeah.
And I just thought, that is just something that kid will never forget, and just how cool that, just, yeah, very cool.
I was our school resource officer, and one of our detectives that was working police in the parks. The mother came up to thank us and found out about the fact that all their summer plans got changed due to the head injury and the medical expenses, so we just tried to make the summer a little happier.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you did, and things like that, just good rapport with citizens, and thank you for thinking of things like that. Another thing that was kind of a surprise, and a good surprise, was that the average number of years of experience our officers have is like 14 years, so I mean, that's, I would have guessed something less than that, so that's a very, very experienced group, so. Anyway, with those comments, and thank you again for a good report, open up for questions or comments about anything on the consent agenda. Yeah, Jason.
Just like to say that I think, so both appointments tonight are filling my previous roles, and I think they're both great choices, and I'm excited to see them filled.
Any other comments? Okay, Marcy, would you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Merringa,
Yes.
Steenstra,
Yes.
Sullivan,
Yes.
Vanderwall,
Yes.
Flanagan,
Yes.
Gelderlos,
Yes.
and Mayor Mas.
Yes. Griffin, we are down to city manager's report already, but you have a few substantial things on there, so.
We do, yes, thank you. So the first item I'm gonna ask is a few people to come up, and while they're doing that, I'll just set the stage a little bit. So many of you will remember back in September, City Engineer Brian Hannon and the Superintendent of the Clean Water Plant, Todd Wilbright, introduced the maintenance building project that's being proposed for the Clean Water Plant. At that time, we sought some feedback to move forward with a design build model that has been used successfully on some of the most recent projects out there at the plant. So they've progressed nicely over the last few months and are at the point where they are bringing a total construction budget as well as a construction agreement with Pioneer Construction before you all this evening for consideration. So because this is obviously a very significant project, I'm going to ask Brian to do a little bit of a recap with you all again, particularly recognizing there's a couple council members that are new to the council since this last update. And then we also do have a representative from Pioneer Construction who's with us this evening, if there are any specific questions about their qualifications. But otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Brian, and we can go from there.
Brian, welcome.
Yeah, thank you for having me, appreciate it. I don't know if I have a clicker, or Marcy, if you're just gonna, all right, thank you. So just for the new members of the council, I just wanted to kind of go through some of the background of the project, the need for it, just to make sure we're all on the same page. Some of you, I think, had a chance to go down and maybe look at some of the facilities that Todd has down there, and if not, I know you'll be down there in another month or so for some of your budget workshops and everything. So definitely take a chance to look around. It's really an amazing thing that they're able to do down there. And this particular piece of the facility has some pretty specific functions in terms of storing trucks, storing maintenance equipment, activities, things like that. They have multiple buildings on the site that house those activities. So they've got an old, I'll get to that. Yeah, thank you. Sorry. I'm not clicking here. So right now they have an old steel-sided building that actually was built by the state of Michigan back in 1978. They house a fish research laboratory. So they repurposed it. They've been using it for warm vehicle storage and equipment storage for all the things that they maintain down there. If you look at the next slide here, you can see that although it looks pretty good from far away, as you get up close, you can see that there's a lot of things that definitely need maintenance on it. They've been doing a really good job of keeping this building in good shape and useful throughout the years. Another building was the original plant laboratory from back in 1963. They repurposed that back in 2010 to add more clean, usable space for some of their more specialized equipment repairs. So they do electrical equipment repair, pump repair, and some part storage that needed a little bit more clean area. As you can see within that particular building, it wasn't necessarily intended for the current purpose. They've been doing a good job of utilizing the space, but it's overcrowded, difficult to move some of the equipment in and out of there, especially considering that they do big pumps and things like that. So they've got large, heavy pumps that they maintain throughout their site, and they need to be able to get them in and out of the room safely and utilize the appropriate cranes and equipment to repair them and keep them in good shape. So these guys maintain a lot of equipment throughout the year to make sure that things run both in the collection system as well as down at the clean water plant.
And these pictures don't do it justice for those of you who may not have been out there recently. This building he's showing right now is so much smaller and tighter than even these pictures are showing. It is impressive what they've been able to do with that space for decades.
Yep, and again, I apologize, I'm going through this pretty fast because it's virtually the same as we did before, but I just want to make sure everybody's refreshed on it. So with the new maintenance center, what we're going to do is use a pre-engineered metal building type construction. On the inside, there's going to be some stick-built construction to separate offices and some different clean spaces and things like that. But the overarching construction will be the metal frame building to basically have a very economical space to use. We're going to separate the office areas like I mentioned. It'll be well lit and ventilated for welding and cutting, washing, and other activities, which a lot of their spaces right now are not. And so there's some safety concerns that'll be alleviated. They're gonna separate the clean work areas for sensitive equipment such as electrical, PLCs, things like that, VFDs. There's gonna be efficient stacked parts and equipment storage that they can actually move things in and out with a forklift so that there's less risk of dropping some of this equipment or handling it in a heavy manner where it could hurt someone. The temperature control will help for polymer storage to keep that pretty expensive chemical nice and appropriate temperature-wise so it doesn't separate. And then they're gonna have vehicle entry in and out of this thing so that they can have lifting equipment to get the cranes and climate-controlled storage available to everyone. So this is just a plan view of the floor plan for the maintenance center. You can see some of these bays are gonna be drive-through all the way so that they can utilize the space. You can see the racking on, I guess what I'm looking at is the right side here. You can see the office space on the left side. Some of these things are separated for offices. And I didn't really show it, but there's gonna be a mezzanine above some of these offices here, again, to provide more storage, more space, things like that. So this is where it lays out on the site. So if you were to drive across the bridge over there and you look to the left, you'd see their existing lab operations building. The other building that is the current storage shed, maintenance center, is gonna be kind of at the top end of the blue square here. And then you can see the entrance onto the bike path that allows you. So it'll be oriented a little bit so that we could fit all the space that we needed on there and have access in and out of it. This is just a very basic isometric rendering of what it's gonna look like. Again, pre-engineered metal building type construction, insulated panel walls, and high bay garage doors to get in and out. So the recommendation tonight is to award the contract to Pioneer, and Brett Hooks is here from Pioneer as a representative from their company. We did a qualifications-based selection process, very similar to what we've done on the last couple projects at the clean water plant, where we looked at multiple contractors, what their capabilities were, who had the best qualifications and could move this project forward. So we did select Pioneer Construction to help us out with the design build on this one. And we've been working with them to refine the cost to make sure that we're being effective with what we're doing here. So what we would do tonight is recommend that GMP award guaranteed maximum pricing to Pioneer in the amount of $3,299,895. The next steps for them would be to order the long lead materials and finalize the last of the design elements, and then we could begin construction after that. So that's kind of step one. The second step, as usual, is to then approve the overall budget for you guys. So our recommendation on the budget would be to set the total recommended budget at $3,760,770. So that includes the GMP for the building that we just talked about. It includes the contingency. It includes allowances for moving the cell tower utilities. So I don't know if you guys are aware, but there's a cell tower on the clean water plant site. The power and the communication that feeds that is basically running right through what will be the new building footprint. So we need to move those out of the way. And then allowances for cranes, racking, appliances, the engineering, and the testing of everything that goes into that. So that's the recommendation for the total budget. And I'd be happy to answer any questions. Todd's here, Brett's here, and we can go from there.
Questions for Brian or anybody else about this project? I don't know, when did you bring it to us? Was it
September of last year, yep.
Last fall. Good job.
So what does your timeline start to finish, and then kind of what do you expect to be the usable life of the building? Obviously, they've gotten a ton of use out of the existing buildings that have been out there.
Yeah. Todd's direction has basically been to try to build a 30 to 50 year asset, which is about what we've gotten out of the existing building. The timeline for construction is going to be about 9 months from whenever the contract is signed with them until the final completion.
So the goal of that practically is if we are able to move forward this evening, the plan is to do construction of this building this construction season and have it wrapped up by the fall.
And I did mention that in some of my letters, that this is somewhat timely in the fact that they would want the summer construction season to work on this, especially because all the stuff that's in there now is going to need to get temporarily relocated somewhere And having that stuff outside in the middle of winter is not gonna go so well, so,
Thanks.
yep.
And there- Mike?
I just wanted to clarify, I know you said in your memo, it's a little bit higher, maybe quite a bit higher than what originally was budgeted. Do you know what that figure was, or?
I think you guys had 2.5 million in there?
Yeah, the 2.5 was the value that was in the CIP, but Todd, do you wanna talk a little bit about where that number came from? Cause I think that number was a little bit of a misnomer. It's been a placeholder number in that plan for several years, and I think Todd can probably fill in a little bit more where that number came from.
So, yeah, 2.5 million was correct. That's basically an architect's estimate. When we began considering this project maybe 3-4 years ago, and like Griffin said, it was kind of a placeholder number. As we started doing schematic structure design for this, we realized that while that may be accurate in today's dollars and the way that these buildings are increasing in price, that was probably not going to be accurate. So we spent the last few months in September going through and really dialing this project in, so at least we have a building that we feel we're getting the value for the price that's going to last and serve for a long period of time.
And that architect number, that is really just a price per square foot based on a similar type of building several years ago. So that's actually been one of the conversations we've been having a little bit as a team with the finance director and honestly Todd's team at our budget meeting last week is how do we put numbers in a capital improvement plan that are 5 to 7 years out? If we put them in today's dollars, by the time we get to that project, we're gonna be 5 or 6 years old and those numbers are gonna be out. But if we put an inflationary index on them 5 to 7 years out, there's also a level of unknown or unpredictability that comes with that. So that's a really good question, because that is one of the biggest things I wanted you all to be aware of this evening is recognizing that this number is going to be the true cost that Brian and Todd and their teams have been working on for the last several months to kind of value engineer and rein in. It is part of the value of doing the design build model is we're very confident in these numbers because the construction firms, the engineer, everyone's been working together to get to that guaranteed, I'm gonna butcher what it is.
Guaranteed maximum price.
Yes, thank you, to guaranteed maximum. So again, we're all operating under the same assumptions, but it is definitely more than what had been in that CIP for the last handful of years.
And looking at it's coming out of the sewage enterprise fund, are you, in your recommendation, that fund is sufficient to be able to fund?
Yes, I am confident that the sewer fund can cover the costs of this building. As a friendly reminder, Ottawa County and their customers will ultimately pay 60%.
Yeah, the cost of this building is shared contractually with the wholesale customers, so Grandville pays a portion, and it's roughly split 60-40. Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up, especially for any of our guests tonight or the new council members that, those capital improvements at the plant get split down like that. And I was gonna ask Jane what the percentage is, cause
Our portion is about 1.5 million. The rest is coming from Ottawa County as a capital contribution.
And this has been shared with them. We have regular meetings with Grandville, Ottawa County customer communities, and it's the price and the building itself has been shared with them, so they're aware of the costs.
And we've toured around with them as well, and again, I think they all understand the need for this, but nevertheless, that's a really good question, because that is probably the key point this evening, is just kind of recognizing that unfortunately the prices of everything is going up, but this project is no different.
Thank you.
And if you want to get a feel for what we're doing, the harbor foam extension that they put on a few years ago used the falk panels that we're proposing that you saw in the rendering there. That's similar type of construction that we'll be doing for this project, locally sourced.
Sorry, the split, does that come back after project completion, or does that come back through long-term?
Well, it sounds like it's only a 9-month project, so we'll probably bill them halfway through and then get the rest at the end.
Okay, so it's not through charges, like operational expenses?
No, so Jason, that's a good question too, that we can get into probably in a little more detail when we do the budget workshop, but, the rates, the wholesale customer rates we receive from our customer communities in Ottawa County, that offsets the costs of the O&M, if you will. They then by contract also have to pay via lump sum, they've done cash, they've bonded, I can't think if there's another way that they've funded, but for capital projects like this, they essentially have to pay as a lump sum. Am I explaining that right?
Yeah.
Thank you. So it's a little bit different depending on the type of project, and that's also why we try to be very transparent with them of like O&M based projects, the everyday operations, the staff is what gets built into their rates, where this type of project, they have to be able to cash fund and or bond for this project to be able to pay for it. So they're kind of constantly working with us to understand upcoming capital projects so they know, and have the availability to pay their 60%.
Yeah, and that's required.
Yes, by contract.
There's no risk that they're gonna reject.
Correct. I mean, we want to be a good partner to them, and obviously, I mean, we're going to defer to Todd and his team out there to make sure they have what they need, but we're also not going to want to do projects that they're not bought in on, because, I mean, we want to be good team players with them being an important part. But yes, to your point, if you all approve this project and we move forward, they will have to figure out how to pay their 60%.
Yeah, I had seen the 2.5 in our budget plan was the reimbursement for the other 60%. I wasn't looking for that. Was that factored in as well, or are we essentially, since we're only anticipating a 1.5 at the end of the day, are we actually ahead of budget?
No, that 2.5 would have been the total project cost, so at that point, we would have only paid 40. But so this project is looking to be a little over $1 million more than what we anticipated when that was originally planned a handful of years ago. And again, I'm definitely not gonna sit here and try to tell you all that that's insignificant. It's not. It's just unfortunately the reality of where we're at in today's construction world.
Randy?
I was gonna say, maybe you can just update everybody, we've got a couple new people, but even we're Ottawa County, that would be Georgetown Township would provide your users of the system, right, Hudsonville, part of Linden, no?
Yep.
A little bit of Jamestown or not?
So the customer communities are Georgetown, Hudsonville, Jamestown Township, a portion of London Township. They're all administered through the Ottawa County Road Commission, so our contract is technically with the Ottawa County Road Commission, and they're the one that coordinates between us and the customer communities.
And it does always blow my mind when, we're a community of, depending on how you want to describe it, but let's say 17,000 people, and your plant is providing service to over 70,000 people.
I think it's in the 80,000s now.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, it is amazing, I think, when you think about the number of people who are served by the plant that our team operates.
Will the overage need to be accounted for through increased rates to our customers?
I don't well, so let me answer that, I guess, a couple different ways. The way the budget's set up right now is the fiscal year we're currently in, there was $1 million budgeted to get this project started. There's been some engineering cost expended to get to this point in the project, but it's unlikely that a significant point of the construction will start until the upcoming fiscal year. So we will adjust kind of the capital spending as part of our upcoming budget discussion, and it'll obviously need to be approved as part of the upcoming budget. Our rates, so our retail rates here locally account for both our share of O&M as well as what we have to fund in terms of long-term capital projects, as well as our share of our local collection system. Because I think that's one of the biggest difference to recognize is we share costs in operating the plant with the Ottawa County customer communities, but Grandville City and Grandville residents are the sole ones responsible for funding our collection system. So my understanding, and Jane and Todd, please correct me if I'm wrong, is we have the cash on hand in terms of budgeted revenue and available fund balance to fund this project. But our rates will likely continue to have to rise to fund this and future capital projects that are coming. Whether or not you wanna say that's funding this or that's replenishing the fund balance for future capital projects, you can kind of call that whatever you want. So I guess I say it that way because no, I believe our fund balance is gonna be funding this project, but I don't wanna say that in terms of you not thinking there will likely be some level of sewer rate increase in the future. There likely will be for the foreseeable future.
Other comments, questions? Okay, thank you. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
So typically we award the contract first and then do the budget, is that correct?
I think that's what Brian recommended.
Yes.
Okay. Is there a motion to award a contract to Pioneer Construction for a guaranteed maximum price of $3,299,895 for this project? Yes.
Can I have you guys make that approval contingent on final construction contract reviewed by the city attorney?
Absolutely.
They have received it, they have started their
Okay.
review, but I don't think it's been finalized yet, and I think we wanna have the flexibility to make any tweaks that Dave suggests.
What I said, subject to review by,
Thank you.
is there such a motion?
Motion.
Support.
Motion and support, thank you. Any other comments or questions? Marcy, would you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Steenstra,
Yes.
Sullivan,
Yes.
Vanderwall,
Yes.
Flanagan,
Yes.
Gelderlos,
Yes.
Merringa,
Yes.
and Mayor Mas.
Yes. So the next item is to approve the project budget, which includes, of course, that award to Pioneer and contingencies and other miscellaneous items. So is there a motion to approve the total project budget in the amount of $3,760,770?
So moved.
Motion by Tim,
Support.
support. Randy? Any other questions or comments? Marcy, would you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Sullivan,
Yes.
Vanderwall,
Yes.
Flanagan,
Yes.
Gelderlos,
Yes.
Merringa,
Yes.
Steenstra,
Yes.
and Mayor Mas.
Yes. Griffin, let's talk about traffic studies.
Yes, this is not quite as much of an intimidating number as the last request,
Yeah.
but nevertheless important. There's a short memo in the packet that details a request to conduct a traffic signal warrant analysis at the intersection of Canal Avenue and 36th Street. As many of you are aware, we've received some concerns over the last few years about this intersection, increasing traffic coming from Ottawa County through 36th. As well as speeds along Canal Avenue. We discussed this a little bit as well, based on some of your comments at the January 26th strategic planning session. So with that, we worked with progressive companies to have them prepare a proposal for a traffic signal warrant analysis to evaluate traffic volumes, some existing safety data, to evaluate whether or not and in what form some level of traffic signal may be justified at that intersection. With that being said, Progressive Companies has performed similar studies for the city. My understanding is the last one we had them do was following the accident at Prairie Street and Wilson Avenue back in 2023, where again ultimately council took their recommendation and has since made some improvements to that signal. So this evening it's recommended that the city council authorize the city manager to sign the transportation engineering services proposal that's included in your packet in an amount not to exceed $4,600. And that is an amount included in the existing budget.
Any questions for Griffin about this item? Now, is there a motion to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with Progressive Companies for a traffic study at Canal and 36th Street in an amount not to exceed $4,600.
Motion.
Support. Any other comments, questions? Marcy, would you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Vanderwall,
Yes.
Flanagan,
Yes.
Gelderlos,
Yes.
Merringa,
Yes.
Steenstra,
Yes.
Sullivan,
Yes.
and Mayor Mas.
Yes.
Before requesting the council to go into a closed session to discuss an attorney-client privilege memo, just a few notes or reminders for everybody. First off, if you all haven't seen, the MML has started sending a variety of different emails seeking some signatures in opposition to some proposed zoning preemption legislation. Again, at the end of the day, I'll let you all make your own opinions on those, but I know I've received a handful of emails from them in the last week and just would encourage you to take a look at those if you haven't yet. We did receive the formal letter from our Department of Public Works union that we will be beginning contract negotiations with them in the upcoming weeks. So just as a friendly reminder, as we get into this budget season, we will be negotiating 2 of our 4 union contracts in preparation for the new fiscal year. Our favorite cursed fire engine, I have another update for us. So engine 55, last week, some of our crews noticed some abnormal noise coming from the engine. So we had our in-house mechanics take a look at it, and during that inspection, they could not locate or replicate the problem. But I want to give our team over there a lot of credit because they dug deeper and had someone who specializes in these types of engines take a look at it and ultimately found that the diesel engine in our fire truck was not built to the conforming specs, which has now caused damage in all of the compression chambers in the engine. So this is a known problem with this model of Cummins engines. We are very confident that it will be covered under warranty, but we are moving forward to explore getting that engine repaired so that it will continue to serve that engine for many years to come. What I will share is, disappointing as this news is, and I couldn't help but almost want to fall down when Chief Wild called me last week. I do want to just again make sure everyone understands that it is unfortunate that this is happening, but we are very lucky we caught it now while the engine is under warranty and did not let it wait longer where we could have either an incident on the road that causes a safety issue or candidly just have it get pushed off for a few years where the city would then be responsible for funding the costs of that repair. Happy to answer any questions. I'll do the best I can. We will keep you all updated. We're anticipating it should be out of service for just about a week or 2, so not a long period of time. But nevertheless, engine 55 is the gift that keeps on giving. The last update I have for you all is I just want to share a friendly reminder that I am going to be out of the office starting on Wednesday this week through Tuesday the next week. So I will be back in the office on Wednesday, March 4th. I will have limited access to cell phone, but please feel free and email me if you need to get a hold of me, and I will follow up with you as soon as I can. Because Assistant City Manager Matt Butts' last day with us is this Friday, I do want to make you all aware that I am designating Police Chief Paul Englund to be acting City Manager in the instance where that is necessary while I am gone. I'm gonna again reference a line that he and I shared when we were discussing this, which is I would rather make that appointment and us not need it than not make it and wish we would have. But I just want to make you all aware, please feel free and continue to contact me as normal, but should there be an emergency over the next few days while I'm gone, we are going to be in good hands. So with all that being said, like normal, I'm happy to answer any questions you all may have. Otherwise, I'll defer back to the mayor and seek that we go into closed session at the appropriate time.
Good, let's do council member comments. Jason, we'll start with you tonight.
Thank you. I just wanted to take a chance to thank Matt for his service. Obviously for the community at large and the many years you've spent here, but personally, you helped guide me in my time on the planning commission over the last 6 years, and it's been invaluable, and I hope to carry the lessons you taught me in my new role here, so thank you very much for everything.
Yep, thank you, Matt, very much. We're gonna miss you a lot. It's been a long time we worked together, so. I don't know who was here first, I don't recall, but we're,
You got me back a couple months.
yeah, there we go. I wish you the best on your new career.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. That's it.
Yeah, I guess this is the meeting where we say nice things about Mac.
You should, there's not many nice things.
So first of all, I wanna wish you happy birthday, because I know
Yes.
today is your birthday.
Today.
It is.
And I know after what you've been through the last couple of years, I'm sure every birthday means a lot.
There was times I didn't think I was gonna have another
Yep.
one, so.
And I was just looking back, I saw your post, I guess you get another birthday in March, right, coming up?
I do, I'll be 2 March.
Okay. Yeah, so no, we're so happy to have you here, after all of that, and happy for you with your new role over in Park Township. Congratulations on that, well deserved. You do a good job over there for them. You've done a great job for us here. I haven't been here quite as long as Randy, but you've been here longer than I have, so you're one of the few, I was trying to think, you're one of the few staff members that has been here since I've been on the council, so we've spent a lot of time together over the last number of years, going to conferences and taking phone calls and emails and questions. You've been the guy that is the go-to for, anything that needs to get done, or anybody that has a question about something, as Mike referenced, you're always willing to help and always willing to explain things, and I always found you to be very, very professional, very knowledgeable, very patient as well. So, thanks for all the service that you've done for the city. As the assistant city manager, you've been involved with the planning and zoning, the code enforcement, the DDA off and on for a number of years, and lots of miscellaneous projects and things, park and recreation. So many good things. We'll miss you. We appreciate all the things that you've done here, and we know you'll do good things in Park Township, so congratulations.
Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah, I'll say thanks, Matt. I don't come and see you with a lot of dumb questions, but I come to see you with questions, and you're always a go-to person. So I'm happy for you. You get the job you wanted, and best wishes.
Thank you.
Best wishes. Police Chief Anglin, thanks for a marvelous report. I can't wait till the 2026 one. They just get bigger and better every year, but they're so interesting to read. Thank you. And Todd, I can't say enough about how proud I am of the clean water plant and how we just continue to keep things going and keep things good. I've toured that plant 3 or 4 times while I've been on city council, and it's just always in top shape, and it's because we're always making improvements on it. One of our neighboring communities didn't make improvements on some of their things, and now we're stuck with, huge price increases. So thanks for everything you do. That's it.
Chief, thank you very much for taking time to put together the annual report for us, and thank you to everyone at your department for continuing to keep our community safe. We truly appreciate it. Matt, thank you for your service to the city. First time I met Matt, I think was 5 years ago or so. I was an annoying grad student interviewing him for a project I was doing for school in Grandville, and it inspired me to have conversations with my wife to move to Grandville a year later. So that helped us. So thank you, Matt, and best wishes to the next chapter in your career. So thank you.
Thanks, man.
Sharon.
Yeah, I wish Mr. Van Sprangenson was still here, but I appreciate him bringing up the Chicago Drive pub incident. I too am concerned. Sounds like we have some community leaders, public safety, maybe the DDA, who's all working towards safety in our community. And as a business owner who's a neighbor, that was a little shaking to receive messages about that on Sunday myself. So thank you for addressing that, the public and the community here. Chief, awesome report. This may have been one of the longest ones I've seen in a while. I haven't been on this council a long time, but this seemed to be pretty substantial, and it just means there's a lot of great things happening and a lot of great stories too. I love reading the stories about that. Matt, thank you. I, like Jason too, started in this community as a planning commissioner. You've taught us all a lot. I'm grateful for your service here. I wish you the best. And the two things I wish you none of are RV ordinances and chickens. So if you can avoid that, I think your next step will be very successful.
Thank you.
Great. Well, Saturday, city manager and I got to go to a party that Chief Wild threw at the fire station and got to try 8 different kinds of chili, and they were all very, very good, so thanks for an event. Great event, just kind of builds sense of family and stuff too, so thank you. And Chief Engel, I've already said a few things about the police report, but I really appreciated, you had some quotes in there that I thought were really good. I don't know if you found them or somebody else, but like Henry Ward Beecher said, hold yourself responsible for a higher standard than anyone expects of you. Never excuse yourself. Stuff like that, just very, very cool. I mean, I like the vibe that I'm getting from that. And Chief Wild too, kudos to your firefighters or whoever noticed the thing with the truck and didn't ignore it and let it go until the truck was out of warranty. And finally, yeah, Matt, thank you so much. I feel like we've sort of grown up together, but I watched your family grow up. When you tell me they're older and they're in college, I can't believe it because, yeah, I remember when they were kids. And, you know, how many times I have said, oh, just call Matt. I mean, thousands probably, because you do have so much knowledge. And just appreciate all the great things that you've done for the city and your passion for helping people here, so thank you very much. Thank you. That's it. So as requested, there's been a request that we go into closed session to discuss legal memorandum that's protected by the attorney-client privilege. So is there a motion to go into to adjourn into closed session?
So
Support.
Motion and support. Any questions? Marcy, would you call the roll on that, please?
Councilmember Flanagan.
Yes.
Gelderlos.
Yes.
Merringa.
Yes.
Steenstra.
Yes.
Sullivan.
Yes.
Vanderwall.
Yes.
And Mayor Mas.
Yes. Okay, great. We're adjourned for about 5 more minutes, everybody. Thank you for joining us.